A 9-year-old boy stands over his father's body, poisoned, murdered by a rival clan. Within days, the same people his family had trusted their whole lives turn their backs and walk away, leaving a widow and her children to die alone on the open steppe. Nobody in that camp believed the boy would survive the year. That boy's name was Temüjin. The world would later know him as Genghis Khan. The abandonment, Tapturtusai. His father, a respected clan chief, had been poisoned by Tatar rivals while traveling home. The moment word spread, the entire tribe abandoned them. No warriors, no food, no protection. Just a mother and her children, left on some of the harshest land on earth. Most families in that position simply disappeared from history. This one didn't. Temüjin's mother taught him one brutal lesson. Trust nothing you haven't earned the loyalty of yourself. The first person to test that lesson wasn't an enemy. It was his own half-brother. The first kill, 132:15. Reduced to near starvation, the family fought constantly over what little food they had. When his older half-brother Bader began taking more than his share, threatening the family's survival, Temüjin made a decision that would define him for life. He killed him with a single arrow, barely a teenager. It wasn't rage, it was calculation, a message that weakness would not be tolerated, even from family. This was the first time the world saw what Temüjin was capable of. It would not be the last. Hunted, 2:15 or 3:30. As Temüjin grew older, stronger, faster than his brothers, word spread. The clan that abandoned his family years earlier heard whispers he was becoming dangerous, a threat if he ever came back for revenge. So they came for him first. Warriors raided the camp. Temüjin ran, alone, into the wilderness. 9 days. That's how long he evaded capture, alone, exposed, hunted across open steppe. On the 9th day, they caught him. They placed a heavy wooden yoke around his neck, built to break a man's spirit before his body. He was now a prisoner, marked, by all accounts, finished. The escape, 3:30, 4:15. But Temüjin had already learned the lesson that mattered most. Survival had nothing to do with strength alone. One night, with help from a sympathetic guard, he slipped free under cover of darkness. He hid in a river, submerged, breathing through whatever gap he could find, while search parties passed within feet of him. He waited, moved only when it was safe. That escape earned him a reputation that followed him for life. He wasn't just dangerous, he was impossible to kill. Betrayal by his closest friend, 4:15, 5:30. Years later, having earned the loyalty of warriors who once doubted him, Temüjin faced the deepest betrayal of his life. Not from an enemy, from Jamuka, his closest childhood friend. A dispute over grazing land spiraled into violence. Jamuka struck first, launching a brutal surprise raid. 70 of Temüjin's chieftains were captured alive. Jamuka had them boiled alive. It was meant to be total, humiliating dominance. Instead, it hardened Temüjin into something far more dangerous than the boy once hunted with a yoke around his neck. He never forgot it. The transformation, 5:36:15. From that moment forward, there was no mercy left to spare for those who crossed him. Every betrayal, every abandonment, only fed the same calculation that started the moment he killed his own half-brother. Survive. Eliminate the threat. Trust nothing that hasn't proven itself. By 1206, the boy once left to die in the snow with no tribe, and a wooden yoke around his neck stood as ruler of a unified Mongolia. Within decades, his empire would stretch further than any in human history. Outro. 6:15, 6:45. The man the world remembers as a ruthless conqueror was forged by years of betrayal most people never even know about. Abandoned, hunted, betrayed by his closest friend, and he survived every single one of them. If this story gripped you, subscribe for more of history's most brutal rises to power.